Attention food lovers, have you been to Nana's Bistro yet? If not, you're missing out. Nana's Deli has just unveiled their newly renovated dine-in space and it's ready for you to enjoy. The updated menu has all your favorites plus a new star, Foods Are Flats, served with every salad, sandwich, or grill order. But let's not forget the classics that made Nana's famous. Their mouth-watering tuna, legendary sloppy joes, hearty soups, and that unbeatable pastrami sandwich. This is comfort food done right. And with Passover around the corner, Nana's will have plenty of delicious holiday favorites ready for you. Got a special occasion? Nana's Bistro is perfect for private events, birthdays, anniversaries, or just because. You name it, they'll make it unforgettable. Since 1981, Nana's has been a tradition, and they're still going strong. And if you're in Jersey City, you already know Nana's is there too, bringing their signature flavors to your neighborhood. So what are you waiting for? Stop by Nana's, enjoy your favorites, and don't forget those Foods Are Flats. Nana's Deli, serving tradition, flavor, and love since 1981. Mention Foods Are Podcast to receive 10% off your next order. Go to nanasdeli.com for more information. Hey there, listeners. Here's a quick question. When was the last time you took a good look at your insurance policies? If you're unsure, don't worry. Beth Sultan at Strategic Insurance Agency has you covered. Strategic Insurance, right here in Livingston, has been helping people protect what matters most for over 25 years. Beth Sultan, a licensed property and casualty insurance broker, is ready to make sure your home, auto, or business is fully covered at the best price possible. The best part? Beth offers a free, no-pressure review of your current policies. All it takes is a quick chat and a couple of documents to ensure you've got the best coverage for your needs. So don't put it off. Call Beth Sultan today at 917-488-2523 or email her at bsultan@siapc.com. Let her and the team at Strategic Insurance put their 25 years of expertise to work for you. Strategic Insurance Agency, trusted in the community for over 2 decades.
This is Behind the Counter.
Behind the Counter
with the Food Zone. Here's Heidi.
Welcome back to another episode of Behind the Counter with the Food Czar, which is me, Heidi Blum. And today we are sitting at the most amazing place that I found, or actually I didn't find it. A lot of people told me to come, and I'm so glad I did. So we are sitting at Anthony's Cheesecake in Bloomfield, New Jersey with the owner and probably one of the nicest guys I've met so far, Anthony Lauro.
Hey, hi Heidi. Good morning.
Good morning.
Everyone.
Good morning, everyone. See, it's not that hard. Anthony's a little nervous. He's never done a podcast before. And all this is, Anthony, is we're just going to have a nice little conversation and talk about you, not me. So it takes the pressure off of me. It's all on you. I'm just kidding. No pressure. Okay, so Anthony, let's start here. I came here and I did one of my videos, right, on the encouragement of a lot of your, I would say, friends, customers, whatever. I dropped the video, and the response was, it might have been one of the most quickly responsive videos that I've done, with everyone saying how much they love your food and how much they love you.
Great.
So I hope that makes you feel good.
It's great.
So-
Community support is amazing.
Yeah, so I was like, that's so interesting because a lot of places, I mean, the reason I do this is to talk about the community, not only within the town that you live, but the community of customers that you build within your restaurant and what makes people come back more and more. And, so I thought it would be fun to learn a little bit about your journey, right, to get to Anthony's Cheesecake in Bloomfield. And why is it that people have taken such a liking to you and to your food? How's that?
Great. Awesome.
So let's start from the beginning.
Okay.
Okay, little Anthony Lauro.
Little Anthony Lauro, not so little anymore.
So Anthony, you grew up where?
I grew up in Brooklyn, New York.
Okay, where in
Big
Brooklyn?
Italian family in Bensonhurst.
Okay. Oh, that's like the rough streets of Bensonhurst, isn't
That
it?
was good. It was all Italian. It's kind of like Nutley, Belleville, Bloomfield.
Same thing.
At the time is correct.
Same thing. So you grew up in Bensonhurst, and growing up, was your mom a big cook? Were your grandparents cooks?
Very
Were they?
much so.
Did they come over from Italy? Is that what happened?
My grandparents did. My mom and dad were born in America.
Yeah.
But just strict Italian family values, a lot of great cooking. Used to stay in the kitchen and watch my grandmother all the time. And, we were so close with everyone on our block, so everyone kind of became my grandmother.
Sure.
So when I wasn't there, I was at my friend's grandmother and watched them cook and eat, of course.
Isn't it an amazing thing? Like, I mean, I feel like, I'm Jewish, you're Italian, but we grew up sort of like in that same way. And like back then, that generation, it was so amazing to me how that always happened, right? The neighborhood became your family.
Right.
And if your grandmother wasn't making her Sunday dinner or my grandmother wasn't making her Friday night dinner, we were just somewhere else. But you were always somewhere with your family and your extended family being like your neighborhood.
Right. It was like my block. We knew everybody. And not even on my block, but blocks away from us. We would go to houses. We would eat. We didn't have cell phones at the time. It wasn't about social media then, so you just went out and played. Mom, I'm going over to Danny's house and having dinner there. And my mother knew everyone. So you felt comfortable. I mean, as my mom, I'm sure she felt comfortable leaving me to go wherever. She cooked for us, yelling out the window, Anthony, come on, dinner's ready. But it was a great area I grew up in.
Yeah.
And, I had a great childhood. I wouldn't change it for the world.
Did you learn, did you have a passion for cooking back then? Or like back then, was it just eating the food?
It was eating.
Yeah.
I mean, look, when you're a teenager, you're thinking about your friends and going out. So there wasn't
sure.
a thought of what my future was going to be. So I just really was hanging out with my friends, going out like every kid does.
Right.
Until college came, and then, you start thinking what you want to do.
Where'd you go to college?
I went to Brookdale Community College down in Lincroft.
Okay. So did your family move to New Jersey?
Yeah, so my mother got remarried, and her husband was from New Jersey, and I had the option at 18 years old to stay in Brooklyn or move with them. And unfortunately, at the time, I wasn't looking to get my own apartment, so I moved here to Matawan.
Yeah, sure.
So to me, Matawan was a little quiet, coming from Brooklyn, New York.
Yeah.
So I lasted there. I went
What's
to
that,
college
exit
there.
120?
Around there, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And it was very,
That's such a Jersey thing, by the way, that I just quoted the Parkway exit. Sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
But, the neighborhood I moved in was a cul-de-sac, townhomes. I tried to start a block party to get some, because there was no action there whatsoever, because I used to do block parties in Brooklyn where we had the DJ and dancing and food.
Out on the streets.
Out on the streets where everyone came out and had a great time. I started in New Jersey in that cul-de-sac, and I just remember getting letters, we don't do this here, go back to Brooklyn. I'll always remember that note on my windshield.
Go back to Brooklyn.
Go back to Brooklyn. So I told my mother, this is going to be it. After I graduate, I'm moving up north. So I came up to the Montclair area.
Oh.
I stayed up there, and I've been in the area since.
So you went to college, but you went to college. Is Brookdale up here?
It's Brookdale Community is down in Lincroft.
Oh, so that's in Lincroft.
Correct.
Okay, because it's funny because there's Brookdale section up
Right,
here in
yeah,
Bloomfield.
It's Brookdale Community College was the first college I went to. I was going for accounting. I wanted to be a CPA. Actually, my grandfather wanted me to be a CPA. He says, you're great with numbers, which I think I was pretty good. My grades were great.
Yeah.
So that was my career path until I started taking a job while I was in college, and I didn't think that would fit me. I just didn't think I could see myself in an office environment for 40 years.
Yeah.
Graduated and had that conversation with my mom. I think I made a mistake. I don't think I could do this anymore.
Yeah.
And her answer was, well, what do you want to do? I said, I have no idea. I just graduated. Now what? And she said, her answer, we're Italian, we cook, open a restaurant. And I did in Red Bank.
At 20?
21, yeah.
Really?
So I opened my first place down in Red Bank.
By yourself?
By myself. My mom actually had a boutique next door.
Yeah.
Where she made jewelry and had her own retail store. And she would pop over and help me. Had no clue what I was doing.
I was gonna say, hold on.
No clue whatsoever.
We need
no
to
experience,
need to break this down for a second. So she's like, open a restaurant. You're like, sure, why not?
Why not? At 21, who doesn't want to own their own business?
Of course not.
Not knowing what was
but
involved.
a restaurant is like intense.
Right. It wasn't a full-scale restaurant. It was a cafe, breakfast and lunch, no dinner, desserts, and started from there.
Okay, but you have to hire staff.
Correct.
You have to create a menu.
Correct. I had no idea what I was doing.
You have to do inventory.
Yes. Didn't know any of that. So I opened the restaurant, just I guess maybe a bragging thing to my friends. Hey, I own a restaurant. I'm 21. And I liked what I was doing. Didn't know what I was doing. And I lasted a year. I went out of business because obviously I
You
wasn't
didn't know what
making
you're
money,
doing.
didn't know what I was doing, didn't know about cost. But I realized something. I realized I like what I was doing. And I decided to start working in restaurants. From the front of the house, I bartended in Morristown. I worked in kitchens, and I taught myself, without going to culinary school, I
Yeah.
taught myself how to run a business, and
So
kinda went from there.
so when you had the first restaurant,
Right.
what was it that you loved most about it?
Just honestly, the people,
The interaction.
talking with people. I mean, I guess being Italian, we love to talk. So I just loved the daily interaction with different people. Then we had our regulars. And I just realized that would be something I'd be interested in doing for the next 30 plus years.
Amazing.
Right.
Did you like the cooking part? Were you cooking?
Yeah, I
then?
was cooking. I was preparing. I mean, I hired people. I really wasn't more in the cooking. I had people that came in. I watched them because they were more experienced than I was.
Yeah.
And I would learn from them, actually.
Yeah.
And then I took a liking towards desserts. For some reason, we had a lot of Italian pastries and desserts. So I knew my grandmother made desserts, so I would watch. And I said, I'm going to start learning that, and taught myself how to make cheesecake from my grandmother's recipe. And then I kind of went with that.
Okay, so I want to get to the cheesecake. So you go after you close the restaurant in Red Bank. You basically work every type of job you can.
Correct. Front
in
of the house,
the restaurant
back of house,
in the restaurant
bartending,
business.
just to learn, because it's what I knew I wanted to open, and I said if I'm going to do this, I need to teach myself every aspect of owning a restaurant.
So when you do that, is there someone or a restaurant or one of the jobs that you had that you can say was like your mentor, or you were like, I'm going to learn from this chef, I'm going to learn from this GM, I'm going to learn, is there someone that
I mean, I
you
worked
can
in the
look back?
kitchen. I didn't have anyone that. I mean, I did prep work, and no one really showed me. I watched. I learned about food cost. So really, no one showed me, took me under their wing, and said, "Hey, I'm going to teach you."
You just
how to-"
retained the
I
information.
watched everything I could possibly learn,
Right.
and brought it with me when I finally decided to leave.
When you say you like the dessert part of it,
Right.
did you do desserts in any of the restaurants?
So I wasn't a chef. I
Yeah.
didn't have experience making desserts, but I worked with dessert chefs
Okay.
or cooked. I'm not even going to say chefs. Dessert people that prep desserts, and I watched. I read books, and I kind of just really taught myself. I didn't have that one pastry chef that had all this knowledge. I just watched them, and then I would go home and read books, cookbooks, talk to my mom, talk to my grandmother. I want to do this.
And practice at home?
Practice, and I did. And then I started taking desserts to people. They loved what I did. Can I order one from you? Can I order more from you? And I went with that. And then I said, you know what, this might be a viable business for me.
The cheesecakes.
Yes.
Wow. Okay, so then you start selling the cheesecakes out of your house, or you're
Correct.
dropping them off
Yeah, I was selling them out of my house.
and then you say, I'm going to open what?
Right. So I had the opportunity. Okay, so let me backtrack. My brother lived in Boca Raton, and they just opened the first cheesecake factory out there.
Oh, sure.
In Delray Beach, I think it was, a Boca. So he took me there, and I said, what a great concept. I love the idea of dessert with food. And I looked at their menu, and I said, I'm going to do this. So I knew how to make cheesecakes, and I said, how do I bring that back to New Jersey? So I opened my first spot in Bloomfield, next to Bloomfield High School. I knew desserts or cheesecakes wouldn't be the only seller, so I realized
Especially next to a high school.
I had to do something else. So we went with the breakfast menu and introduced the cheesecakes. And for 26 years, that just stayed with us.
Were the kids buying the cheesecakes?
Yeah, the kids,
Or was
the
it
adults.
more breakfast sandwiches for
It was
them?
more for the kids. It was more breakfast sandwiches, brownies, cookies, and then I introduced us a deli. So we did cold cuts, we did breakfast sandwiches. I introduced my cheesecakes. So now the adults were coming in. The holidays came, and I started more with advertising, and more people started coming to buy whole desserts, whole cheesecakes. So we did that for quite a while.
What was the name of that deli?
It's called the Lunchbox Deli, being next to the high school.
Yeah. Oh, that's cute.
And then I had the opportunity to make cheesecakes for the Meadowlands Stadium for the Jets and the Giants.
Were they selling there, or you were making it for the team?
No. So it was kind of like an audition.
Yeah.
The Meadowlands Stadium just had opened. They rebranded, and they were looking for desserts. And was in contact with them. Went on an audition, and they tried the cheesecakes, and they said, "We'll let you know if we're interested. And about a couple of days later, they called. They said, we want you to make our cheesecakes for us at the stadium and mainly for the football games.
So
we started.
Was it a booth?
So they just wanted us in the clubhouses.
Yeah.
So the higher end, the
like the suites.
all the suites, and then they eventually brought us into the masses where we had, I guess, one of those carts like everyone had. So then.
Instead of like a Dipping Dots cart,
Right.
it would be like a cheesecake.
It was a cheesecake cart they gave us. We had to produce a sign, and then we sold cheesecakes.
Was it Anthony's Cheesecakes?
Yeah. So,
no way.
Yeah, so with that, they said, you could use our name. So we started with that. But the reason I came to this location is because when we got the contract with them, I knew I couldn't do out of my 400 square foot store, the Lunchbox.
Right.
So we looked around and we found this spot here. We started here only doing desserts for the Meadowlands, but then we were in hotels, we were in supermarkets. It was more of a wholesale.
Oh, wow.
So we weren't open to the public.
Yeah.
We just baked here massive amount of cheesecakes because it was a high demand for the stadium.
Yeah. For those who haven't been here, right? And we'll talk about this location in a minute, but for those who haven't been here, the amount of cheesecakes in your, flavored cheesecakes in your case that I'm looking at right now is probably 20 different flavors.
Correct.
So were you doing all of those flavors for the Meadowlands?
No. So they basically start off with a plain classic New York style cheesecake and maybe another flavor or two we introduced, but they really went for the clubhouses just for the classic New York style cheesecakes.
Right, because that's classic.
Right. And then the smaller versions of cheesecakes, we would make mini cheesecakes. That would be for the masses. We kind of did like an Oreo cookie. We stuck with the New York cheesecake. When you're ordering 500-600 mini desserts, you don't want it to be where they want 30 different flavors.
No, you can't.
So I kind of told them, let's stick with a chocolatey one like an Oreo and then the classic New York, and that's what we went with.
So what would you do? Make them every week?
Every weekend, yeah.
Every weekend?
Every weekend we deliver them to the stadium.
During football season?
So it's basically be delivered on a Saturday for Sunday games. We got to enjoy the games and go see all the football games,
so
which
fun.
was amazing.
Are you a football fan?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so it was good.
So did it stop? Did you stop doing that when it turned into MetLife? Actually,
it was MetLife when we joined. When we joined with them, it was MetLife. We had a 2-year contract that ended. By that time, they started redeveloping where I am now, our area. There's nothing here.
Yeah.
And that's when we decided to open up a small cafe restaurant. So we went from cheesecakes, then we went into a little breakfasty thing. Then we added lunch.
In this location?
As more and more people moved to the neighborhood.
Yeah.
And more buildings went up. We saw that there were more people in the area, so we decided to not only just wholesale desserts, but let's do a cafe. And it kind of morphed from lunch to breakfast to brunch to dinner.
You were sort of just going with the flow and seeing what the customers want. Yeah.
And it was amazing the amount of people that moved into the neighborhood.
So what year did you?
So we opened here 2010. So we're going on our 15th anniversary.
So 2010 was, when you're saying the anniversary of, so it started as the wholesale was 2010.
Correct.
And then you transferred it over to
the restaurant. Probably within 2 years,
Wow.
I think we started doing a light breakfast.
Yeah.
And then as more and more people moved in, then we said, let's do lunch, let's do dinner. So now we're open just for dinner, brunch, lunch, and dessert, but only Thursday through Sunday because I needed. As I'm getting old, I realize I'm tired for myself.
So, are you still doing the wholesale?
No, so that ended.
Yeah.
And strictly retail now.
It's probably wholesale's probably a hard.
It was good back then, but with the rising cost of everything's
everything's changed.
Want to make money. So look, you have to think. Restaurants want to make money. I want to make money.
Yeah.
You can only sell so much, a slice of cheesecake for so much.
Yeah.
Where everyone was happy making money, both the restaurant owner and myself. So I just thought it was best just to move away from the wholesale.
So it is amazing coming to Bloomfield because you can see how much construction is going on, and you can tell just by the buildings how there's newer buildings and all the restaurants that are now here. It's like leaked out of Montclair into Bloomfield.
Right.
So that's probably was amazing for your business.
It was great because when we got here in 2010. I think it was just us here, and there's a Polish butcher, and that was it. As far as the food scene, there wasn't a food scene here.
Wow.
And then just little by little, more and more people
even
moved
on
in.
the street, you have, what is it, Veritage Brewery.
Opened up.
Yeah, Blue Steel. 7 Doors Down Ramen.
Yeah, that's great. Abuco's down our street, great neighbors. They opened arcade. They were opening more businesses across the street, which are coming soon. I believe I'm told an indoor almost like a Sky Zone. Will
Yeah.
be opening on
Wow.
the corner. So we have a lot of different businesses here.
Yeah. It's I mean, it must be amazing for you to see because that makes every business healthy,
No,
right?
it's great. It's
yeah.
great. We're here 15 years, which is amazing. So we're happy. I sold my other place after COVID, so now I have time to concentrate here.
Let's talk about COVID because
Yeah.
we were. I mean, I know we're all tired about talking about COVID,
Right.
but we were just having this conversation
Yes.
before we started recording,
Right.
and the date that we're recording this is literally 5 years to the day
To the weekend, yeah.
to the weekend that the world was shut down.
Right.
Right. So let's talk about how that affected your business. So here you are, 2012. You're now a cafe.
Right.
And you're sort of cruising through your business like everybody else. Everything's good, right?
Egg prices were good.
Egg prices were good. Yeah. There were eggs that you can get.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, what happens?
So, I'll remember it always. Sunday, the weekend of St. Patty's Day, we were open for brunch, full house, packed restaurant. I was videotaping it. Kind of knew COVID was here, but I didn't understand the whole concept of it or what was going on.
Sure.
Maybe I didn't want to know what was going on.
Like many of us.
Right.
Yeah.
And I did a video of our restaurant. I posted it on social media, got some backlash from people saying how irresponsible I was as an owner. Haven't I heard of social distancing? And then the people that were here at the restaurant at the time saw these posts and they were commenting back that we're out enjoying it. If you can't come out or you're afraid to come out, then stay home.
Yeah.
And I spoke to my friend that night that get ready, they're closing down New York and New Jersey as of tomorrow. In the meantime, St. Patty's Day was on Tuesday. Cooked a few thousand pounds of corned beef because we have an
crazy.
annual St. Patty's Day dinner with the bagpipers and all. And I woke up the next morning and everything was shut down. Panicked because now I have almost 2,000 pounds of corned beef to sell.
So what'd you do with it?
So I had to think. I really didn't know what to do. So I started posting that we're going to do dinners to go, which was everyone was doing.
Yeah.
So I created an online store. And within a day, I had to do all this and figure out what I was going to do with credit card machines, and people showed up in the masses. We had lines down the block with the whole new concept of not
go.
dining indoor.
Yeah.
To go orders, and we set up a table outside. You weren't allowed to come inside, so we brought out bags of food, and people would pick up their orders, and that's how it went from there.
Isn't it crazy?
It was insane.
Though I would bet, it's especially because this what I saw and sort of like how I started this, a restaurant like that pivoted so quickly, the neighborhood appreciates that.
And that's what it was.
Yeah.
I mean, the support. I mean, I can't even tell you how many people came out, and it lasted literally. I think I lasted here about 5 weeks, running the show. When I say lost, a lot of my employees left me. So
Yeah.
I was down to 3 people.
Wow.
So I would do the shopping, and I would do the cooking with one other person. We prepped, we cooked. One girl answered the phones.
Was it a limited menu? Just
I
because
had
we
to,
couldn't
yes,
get a
yes.
lot of
You
stuff.
couldn't find a
Yeah.
lot. So, it was pastas, it was chicken. I would barter with Food Town. Hey, if you got chicken or rice, I'll give you a free cheesecake.
Oh, my-
Just save some for me because you couldn't find anything anymore.
No.
So I basically went with Italian food, pretty much.
Yeah.
Chicken, many different ways, pastas, and that was it. And of course, dessert.
Wow.
And that was it. And it lasted about 5 weeks before I said I need to shut down. I was just physically exhausted.
Yeah.
From doing everything.
So you shut. So you.
I shut down. I lasted 5 weeks. It was amazing. And I went to my shore house for a month by myself.
And,
just
like,
to
regrouped.
Decompress.
Yeah.
I want to decompress and do nothing, go for a bike ride by the beach, see no one.
Yeah.
So it was good.
Yeah.
It was a crazy time. It was a sad time. We lost some people we knew.
Yeah.
And then, that went on for a good year with the whole
Yeah.
dining indoors.
Yeah.
And slowly it came back. And,
Yeah. So after the month of decompressing down the
Right.
shore, you were like, I'm ready to. So did you come back and just start again?
Started all over because I think at that time it was Easter.
Yeah.
And we went with the Easter orders.
And everyone could be
desserts and all.
outside, too.
And
Yeah.
people were doing things. People were picking up pies and catering. I mean, it was great. It
Yeah.
was really good.
That's
It
amazing.
was a nice business model, I have to say. Aside from the fact that I didn't like what was going on.
Yeah.
Just to cut your costs down.
Yeah.
bagged up food to
it's
go.
it's so interesting you say that because you're right. I mean, it's like you have a limited menu.
Right.
You're not making yourself crazy in a sense, and you sort of know what the inventory is going to be
Right.
on a daily basis
And
because
we needed three of us to run the restaurant, and that was it.
That's crazy.
So it was good.
So moving forward, so now COVID ends and all that, and now you're back to normal.
Everything's great. Business is great.
Let's
Community
talk
support.
about the community is amazing.
Yes.
You could tell, that's what I'm saying. You could tell here the community is amazing. Let's talk about how like social media has helped your business. Not helped, but sort of.
It has.
Do you think it has?
I think so.
You're very good, I think, on social media.
I do
You
everything
post,
by myself.
yeah.
I take pictures. I post comments. I mean, I'm not great at it. You know, I'm
mean,
an older guy.
Yeah, I'm an older girl.
not an
I'm just
influencer.
winging it. I'm not. I think that's what they call me, but I don't know what I am. But yeah. But do you feel you've had a lot of influencers come in here?
Correct.
Do you see that? Has anyone, I guess, come and like not said good things about Anthony's?
As far as social media, as
Yeah.
far as influencers?
Yeah.
No. I mean, we've had some good response, and then it brings people from all over.
Do you find that?
Oh my gosh, yes. We
Yeah.
even had one girl fly in. Crazy story. A girl's outside with her cameras and her tripods eating lunch, and my server said, you might want to go talk to this girl. And I go outside like I do with everyone.
Yeah.
Let them eat. I talk to them. So happened she's an influencer in, I think, Georgia. And she hopped on a plane to come here to have lunch and dessert.
No
and
way.
When she was done, she said, I'm getting on a plane and going home, which is mind-boggling. I never heard
How
of
did she
anything like
find
it.
you?
Through an influencer that came here, and I guess it showed up on her algorithm. Banana pudding cheesecake, I believe it was, and she loved banana pudding. And her thing is, she flies all over the world to go eat.
Wow.
So that was just one influencer.
Maybe I
So
need to
just-
start doing that.
Oh my God! I said I need a job like that.
Yeah, my God.
But that that was just one of many, and then just people. I mean, the algorithm brings people from all over. I've had people from Canada. We had a group of kids from the Middle East that flew into New York City for a convention, college kids, an engineering convention. They all hopped on an Uber to come here to have dessert before they got on their plane to go back to
No
the Middle
way.
East because of social media.
That's
because
wild.
Of the post they saw. Yeah, it's great stuff. People I normally would never have met. Look, I'm an older guy. When you were younger, you said, hey, go to Anthony's down the block. You didn't get on a phone and expect people from California or
No.
Texas.
Yeah.
People come here and come this way. These are people I would never have met.
That's
Yeah,
first of all,
so it's
that's
pretty
nice.
cool. It
So it
is.
brings you back to why you like this business, right? It's the
You
interaction
meet
with
people
the.
from all over the place.
It's amazing.
And then we have our core regulars that come every single week. I mean, there are people that literally come here every single week.
Are they from Bloomfield or?
Bloomfield, Montclair, Glen Ridge. We have a lot of Glen Ridge people. But we have our core. Like last night, we have this group of 8 women that come every Thursday night. It's their little social gathering with the women's club. And
Yeah.
they're here every Thursday night.
That's so nice, and they
Yeah.
bring wine and stuff.
BYOB, yeah. So,
Yeah.
it's great stuff.
But I mean, listen. I think people come from all over
Right.
because you clearly have a good product.
That helps.
Yes.
I always say it's a combination of good food, but you also have to have that personality. You have to go.
Yes.
I don't do it because I have to. I do it because I want to.
Sure.
I sit down with people, we'll have a glass of wine together. I wound up becoming so friendly with some of my customers. We've gone to weddings, we've gone to parties.
That's
They've
so
come to my
nice.
house. So I just love that social connection.
Sure.
The hugs.
Yes, the
I hug
hugs.
everyone.
Yes, the hugs. That's my favorite part of it. So let's talk about the cheesecakes.
Okay.
Okay. So what do you think? I mean, I'm not going to ask you for your grandmother's recipe or your recipe, but what is it that makes your cheesecake so good apart from everyone else's cheesecakes?
Look, I think anyone can make cheesecake. Yes, it is my grandmother's recipe, but whatever we do, it works. I mean, we don't do anything special aside from using the freshest ingredients,
Right.
top-notch creams and cream cheese. We sell out fast, so everything is fresh as opposed to sitting. But I don't know the difference of our cheesecake to another restaurant's cheesecake.
Have you tried another restaurant's cheesecake and you're
I
like,
have to
yeah,
say,
yeah.
I have to say, I've been to some places where they're good. I've had some that are bad. I don't eat cheesecake out a lot,
Yeah.
honestly, because I see it all day long here.
I'm sure, yeah.
I'm a chocolate guy, so we make a chocolate cheesecake. My favorite cheesecake is my grandmother's recipe for Italian ricotta, and I just changed it a little by putting some fresh blueberries in it,
Yeah.
crumb topping, and we sell a lot of Italian cheesecake. So that's my
Really?
grandmother's, and I always loved it for some reason.
So was that the starter? Was that the?
Yes. So
Okay.
I went with that, the Italian Italian ricotta with some grated orange. I changed it a bit by maybe adding fresh blueberries. Then I do a crumb cake topping
Yeah.
to make a change. But then little by little, I started adding flavors. We'll do cookie butter. I made the Cookie Monster today.
The Cookie Monster. I mean, I was attracted to that right away when I walked in here.
So that was a request from a customer, and then we put it out at the restaurant, and I couldn't keep it in stock, so we just added that to the lineup.
Someone said is it the rice pudding?
Yeah, so we make homemade rice pudding.
Yes,
and we
that
bake
isn't-
that into a cheesecake.
Which someone said is incredible. It's so scary.
grated
That's
cinnamon. So, people want to see different things.
Yeah.
Look, last week I made a maple bacon crumb cake cheesecake, and it flew off the shelf. So now we keep that in the lineup.
Well, you also posted that on social media,
Yes.
and I will tell you, I don't even eat bacon, and I was like, oh my God, that looks
Yeah, it's great.
insane.
Candy some bacon, and you just put in some
And
cheesecake.
is it like you're just thinking of it like that morning, and you're like, you know what, let me
Yeah,
try
I
it.
have bacon. I have everything to make candied bacon. One of my customers, we run a contest every year for National Cheesecake Day, and this was a request from a customer, one of the contest entries, to make a maple bacon cheesecake, and I said that might be good. So
Yeah.
we did it, and it kind of took.
That's amazing.
stick with it.
What's the #1 seller?
I'm gonna go classic New York. Everyone wants their traditional New York cheesecake. Outside of that, we make a combination of homemade brownies, homemade chocolate chip cookie dough, and Oreos baked into a cheesecake.
Do you have that
Don't
here
know if I
today?
could say that. It's called a slutty brownie.
Yeah,
If
baby.
if it gets edited out, I'll understand.
As long as you're not calling me a slutty brownie, you can say it. Yeah.
But that's super popular. Salted caramel with roasted pecans is another. With flaky salt is another. one.
Wow. The coconut looks really good too, by the way.
Coconut cake.
Yeah.
Got to keep me on my toes, and I like to, social media engagement. You do something totally different, people will come over.
It's like, that everyone's looking
Yeah,
for that
they did.
viral thing.
One of my staffers asked me to make a hot dog cheesecake, so I candied up a hot dog, and we put it on top of a cheesecake, and she went on a podcast and in front of a large group, and they loved it.
No
a Taylor ham cheesecake
way.
being from New Jersey, candied up Taylor ham,
That's
and made a cheesecake out of that.
that's crazy.
Yeah, so it's good stuff.
So-
chicken and waffles is huge here. What do you think I did? A chicken and waffle cheesecake.
Did you really?
Yeah.
And did that sell?
Yeah, it was great. It was good. It was different,
Were there any that
not everyone's going to eat it.
Of
but
course
you get some
not.
people,
Yeah.
why did you put chicken on a cheesecake? But if you took the combination of everything in one bite, it actually worked pretty good.
Well, because it's salty, sweet.
Yeah,
It's a little bit of it's a little bit of everything. Is there any cheesecake that you've ever come out with that was like not a seller?
Not a seller. A hot Cheetos cheesecake. That wasn't a good one. But hot Cheetos were a thing.
Thing,
I said,
sure.
Let's turn it into a cheesecake, and it wasn't a mover. We wound up giving it to the staff.
Was it hot Cheetos on top?
It was a hot cheesecake, so the cheesecake had hot sauce in it. My thing is I don't eat hot sauce, so I just didn't know how much to put in.
Oh my
So
God.
we walked around to the people and the customers.
Anthony,
and
that's really funny.
We videotaped them eating a bite. We asked them if they would take a challenge and try it and see what they thought.
That's really funny.
And we got some great response. Well, some people cringed.
And do you get comments on, if you post, for example, let's use the hot Cheetos cheesecake. You post that on Instagram, right? Are people commenting and being like, "What are you doing?
You get
That's
some
disgusting."
good. You get some good, and then some people that love hot Cheetos and cheesecake. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, that's awesome.
Do you get? Have you ever gotten a bad review?
On our cheesecakes or in general?
In general,
It happens. It
Yeah.
happens. I mean, I can't
do you
say.
take it personally?
I do.
Yeah.
But you have to learn to respond. If it's something we did, you try to correct it. There have been many. I won't say we got a lot of bad reviews, but we have had where people say things that are unfounded.
Yeah.
And I almost feel as an owner, and it's happened twice that I remember, that you have to respond. Otherwise,
Sure.
people will think
You don't care.
the other people are correct. So
Yeah.
you have to call them out on it.
Yeah.
And it's happened, and I called them out on it, and people respond.
And I would
positively.
say, as a
It happens.
customer, right? Like the most important thing, and as someone who's a big supporter of restaurants and restaurant owners, is, and especially to people who are listening, go to the owner or
Right.
to the general manager.
Yeah, everyone's quick
and
to go
instead
on
of
the
don't go on
phones.
your phone.
Yeah, they're quick to write a
because you
review.
can't take the review away, and it really
Right,
can
right,
make or
right.
break somebody's
And
business.
the times that we've gotten the bad ones, I just wished, that Google would take it off or what have you, because some of them were really incorrect.
Yeah.
But it could be something that was going on with the person at the time.
Yeah, you don't know.
So you do your best. I
Yeah.
mean, for the most part, we get great reviews. People love coming here.
People love coming here.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
That's good.
It
And
sounds
a big
like
part
it's a-
about
it's a-
being here
yeah.
is, we love to help the community out with fundraisers, for animal shelters, for the senior citizens.
Oh, that's so
We do something
nice.
yearly for them. Pack up this Christmas we linked up with 60 senior citizens that are in a home that are don't have families that come visit them,
Yeah.
so we pack up gifts for them.
That's
we
so
make them
nice.
dinner. So we'll do that yearly. We do the Super Bowl. We do something where we raise money for the animal shelters locally.
That's amazing.
And I just feel like I always feel like we've gotten the support for the almost 30 years I've been in this town that I need to do something for them.
Yeah.
You know, they help me out. They patronize us. I want to give back somehow, and I kind of make sure that's a given.
Yeah.
A couple of times a year.
That's amazing. I mean, that's what it's about, right?
Without them, I wouldn't be here.
Exactly.
So I want to do something to pay it back.
But it's nice that you're aware of that.
Yeah,
So, you know,
yeah.
that's really, that's nice. Do you do a cheesecake for like, let's say St. Patrick's Day, like with Guinness?
So not Guinness. I do a Bailey's Irish
Oh,
cream.
yeah, perfect.
Several different versions of Bailey's Irish cream desserts, bread pudding. Make a key lime. Go with the green concept. Pistachio is another big seller. We're bringing out matcha this weekend.
Oh,
So we're
a
doing
matcha cheesecake? I
yeah.
love matcha.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It's become a big hit.
Yeah, that's I will. If you like that taste, I love
right.
matcha. Like I love matcha ice cream.
Yeah.
I love it.
Big.
Okay, this is probably dropping around in April. When, I don't know. So it's probably around the time of Easter. So what is? Oh, your face.
If we're going
Tell
Easter,
me. Let's go to Easter.
Pizza Game.
Yeah.
For those that don't know what it is,
Oh,
do you know what Pizza Game is?
I've learned what it is, but
All right.
explain to people who don't know what it is.
So I grew up with this. Easter
It's an
Sunday.
Italian-
It's an Italian. I'm going to say similar to a quiche. It's a custard made with eggs. A lot of Italian imported meats from prosciutto, capicola, soppressata, ham, salami, mozzarella cheese, basket cheese. So we make pies that we sell a lot of. And then Italian cheesecake, of course, is huge. And then I make a grain pie. I don't know if you know what that is.
No.
So you soak a grain.
Yeah. What
And-
type of grain? Like a farro or something?
It's a wheat berry.
Okay.
So soak that, and you make that with some grated orange into like a custardy. This is more of a sweet. The pizza gain is a savory.
Yeah.
More like a quiche. This
So
is
you
the
do
sweet
eat
version.
the pizza gain on Easter Day?
We do it. We
Or
start
Good
that
Friday?
weekend. We start that weekend.
Okay.
I mean, you can't eat. Most people don't want
Oh,
to
yeah.
eat on Friday, but
Yeah.
we offer these. A lot of people buy whole pies to go for their family celebration for Easter.
Yeah.
The same with our cheesecakes. We do an Easter Sunday brunch here.
Oh, that's so nice. So get your reservations in.
Yes,
yeah,
definitely.
get your reservations in. Oh my God, Anthony, I didn't even realize it. Today is Pie Day.
It is.
Oh my God, that's so weird that we're doing
Yes.
the interview on
So
Pie
of course
Day.
I had to prepare for that.
Oh my God, happy Pie Day.
Thank you,
And we're
thank
at
you.
Anthony's Cheesecake.
And we're at
That's, come on,
Anthony's
what
Cheesecake.
that was like meant to be. My God. So what's in the future for Anthony's Cheesecake? What's next in your goal list?
So we're going on our 15th anniversary. Plan on staying here. Just renewed my lease. I don't intend on expanding or opening up another. I think this is it.
Good boy.
This will be my last one. I do want to do something with our cheesecakes that we can't ship them, unfortunately.
I was going to ask you about Gold Belly.
Yeah, the prices are absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
For pricing, and being that cheesecake is a perishable item,
Yeah.
you have to ship them overnight, and the shipping costs could range. I mean,
Yeah.
we have a customer in California. Just to put that cake on a plane is over $100.
Wow.
So I
So
just
my
don't
sister
feel
lives in
comfortable.
California.
I don't
You're not getting a
I don't
cheesecake.
feel comfortable selling a cheesecake. But, I plan on staying here, doing what we do for as many more years as I have. And that's it.
That's it.
Nothing expansion.
Serving the good people
That's it.
some good food.
Eventually retire down the shore, maybe do a little something down there when the time comes.
Really?
Yes.
Like a little tiny
Think
cheesecake?
about just a cafe. My goal is then eventually a cafe with dessert and coffee. And I would be happy with that.
I mean, why not?
Big responsibility running a restaurant. So
It's
if I could
huge.
cut back a little and just get into the cakes.
Yeah.
Open a few days a week on the weekends and maybe enjoy the other time off.
Let's talk about just so people understand that at Anthony's Cheesecake, it's not just desserts as we've been talking about. It's Italian food, it's breakfast food, it's
Correct.
brunch food. It's your menu's extensive.
We try to, we have a small menu.
Yeah.
Like we only offer maybe about 8 appetizers a night and then maybe about 15 entrees with some specials. I try to keep it small, but we try to pick out some good entrees. We do some Mexican food because I love Mexican food, and we do Italian food.
It's amazing.
And then
I
American,
don't even
like
know
short
that you do
ribs.
Mexican. Yeah.
Yeah, so we do quesadillas and burritos and tamales and
Oh, that's
empanadas.
amazing.
So I try to mix it up because I'm a big fan of Mexican food.
That's really.
So I taught myself how to cook Mexican food.
I mean, it's really impressive.
Thank you.
Do you have another cook in the back that
Yeah.
who knows how to do all that and will bring
Basically,
you ideas?
I show them the menu. They tell me we should do this. We go back and forth. We come up with a plan, and we go from there. And that's it.
It's amazing.
And it works.
Sure does,
No, we
Anthony.
try.
It
We
sure
try.
does. Listen, you're the nicest guy. I'm serious.
You're the nicest
You can,
woman.
thank you. Oh, you're just saying that because I'm saying it to you.
Oh, you're great.
No, you're great too. And I'm honestly, like, I'm just telling him, like, looking at Anthony's eyes, and you have a very sweet soul.
Thank you very much.
You can
It's
tell
my
that
mother.
you do.
My mother instilled that in me.
Well, that's nice that you say that and give her credit for that. But you can tell, and I think that's really, really nice. So anyone, and I'm not just blowing smoke up your ass. I'm just like saying that. I don't really ever say I'm looking in someone's eyes and I see their sweet soul. So maybe my wife, but that's about it. But I'm just going to say for everyone listening here, Anthony literally is the nicest guy. His cheesecakes are amazing. They look amazing. And you really want to come to Bloomfield, even just to take a little look at the cheesecake.
Come join us just for coffee and dessert.
And you can get a flight. You can get a flight
we
of
make cheesecake
cheesecakes.
flights. We'll give you 4 different cheesecakes and like
Of
a
your
beer
choosing?
flight. Yeah, you get to pick 4 what's in our showcase, and you can mix it up with some of our layer cakes. So kind of like a beer flight, we do it with dessert.
Amazing. So how could you not want to come for that?
It's great stuff.
So you're coming for a nice guy with a very nice story.
Come give me a hug.
And come give him a hug.
Yes.
Look into his sweet eyes, and you're going to be really happy. See, Anthony, was this bad?
Not at all.
See, thank you so much for doing
welcome.
this.
Thanks for having me.
You got it.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. If you are hearing this message, I want to thank you so much for tuning in. I'm truly grateful for you and this opportunity. The purpose of the Behind the Counter podcast is to bring food, people, and community together. I hope you'll return for more episodes and explore with me. I want to personally thank Fran Linnell of Design 68 for my amazing Behind the Counter podcast logo, and Travis Lohenberg for my awesome Behind the Counter music, and all the guests that take their time to sit and talk with me. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and if you did, please leave a review on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you hear your podcasts. If you'd like to support the Behind the Counter podcast, please subscribe, share with your friends and family, and you can follow me on Instagram at Heidi Blum. If you have any feedback or stories that you want to share, you can email me at foodsarbtc@gmail.com.